public complaint against British policy. We don't appreciate the fact that they're trying to curb smuggling in the colonies by passing this law that basically says anybody in the British military can go into any colonist's house at any daylight hour to search for smuggled goods. In other words, if anybody in the military, not a general, even a private, suspects you of being a smuggler, he has the right to go into your house and look through your stuff. Doesn't exactly seem like a fair law to anybody. James Otis gives his protest in the form of a 5-hour-long speech at the old State House, which I shall now recite for you verbatim. I'm just kidding, it's 5 hours long. But he does say one very important thing in it. He says, a man's house is his castle. Privacy should be respected, not invaded. A man's house is his castle is something we still say in English today. He's the guy credited with having made it famous, although he did not coin it. It's British law that he's quoting, so it's a brilliant legal argument as well. 3 years after that, the British passed something called the Sugar Act, which of course puts a tax on sugar. Now really it just enforces an old tax, but either way, we're not pleased about the fact that they're giving us special treatment that they're not giving the people on the British Isles. James Otis is at it again. This time he gives a 4-hour-long speech. It's the short one this time, right? This time he says something so famous that if you went to elementary school in this country and cannot finish my sentence I'm about to feed you, shame on your 5th grade teacher. I'm going to start it, you guys finish it. You ready? If you're not from this country, you're exempt. Don't you worry. If you are, don't worry, you know this. Don't be nervous. Here we go. Ready? He says, in response to the Sugar Act, taxation without representation is tyranny. This is the guy that comes up with that. So whether or not you knew James Otis by name, you almost certainly knew what he said, right? James Otis, the patriot, not the elevator guy. Now when James Otis dies, here's how it happens. 1769, he publishes a cartoon in the Boston Gazette. This cartoon depicts a British military official in the neighborhood named John Robinson doing something rather lewd to the Queen. I'll let you use your imaginations. But this guy does not respond well. He sends 6 soldiers to go and have a little chat with James Otis. What do you think that means? They're going to do something really bad to him, right? They find him in a bar in the North End. He's already had a few, so when they start trying to fight with him, he's obligingly drunk enough to fight back, which gives them permission to take out their canes and just brain him. I mean, they beat him to death. They think eyewitness accounts say his brains were exposed, so he should be dead. But he's not. He's a fighter. He survives. He lives. We do have to put a metal plate into his head to keep it from caving in, though. The big problem with this is that the metal we use for medical procedures in those days happens to be, guesses? Lead.